Hi everyone. I'd like a discussion on sizing images appropriately. I noticed that we've been including screen captures in our content, but oftentimes the screen capture, you capture the entire screen, say 3000 pixels by 1200 pixels, and then bring that into Word and then resize it. The problem is 3000 by 1200 pixels is a very large size file in megabytes, many megabytes. And when you bring it into Word, it's still many megabytes. And then when you resize it in Word, all you're doing is resizing the view. The file size still stays huge. So what you end up with is a Word file that is 40 or 50 megabytes in size because the images in it were not captured appropriately. So what I would like you to get out of the habit of doing is capturing your entire desktop. And what I would like to show you is how to capture something on your desktop for the size of the document you have. So here I have the memo template opened up, and you can see that from the ruler, this is an 8.5 inch wide document, and you can see that we're using about 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inches of column width. Okay, so this is our column width, essentially the length of this line, and it's 6.5 inches. Now, if your image is 3000 pixels wide at 100 pixels per inch, that's a 30-inch wide image. And we don't want a 30-inch wide image and then have to downsize it to 6.5 inches. The way to handle this is to resize the image appropriately before you take the screen capture. So let's say I want to take a screen capture of El Greco's Toledo. And I have this image size right here. This is what I want to capture using Jing. And it's wider than my column width. Here's Word, here's my column width, this is larger. Now I can take this picture and then I can paste it into Word and resize it. But this picture is 2000 pixels wide. Bring it into Word, at 100 pixels per inch, it's a 20-inch wide image. It's way too big, it only needs to be 6.5 inches. So, how can I handle that? Well, resize the image to the size that you want, or the size that you need. As you can see, this image now is just a little bigger than 6.5 inches. There we go. Right? But if this weren't a photograph, if this were not a painting of El Greco's Toledo, you don't have to zoom. If this were a dialog box, let's call it the Toledo.jpg dialog box, you could resize the dialog box so that it fits within your columns width. Now, what's happening here is this dialog box isn't going any smaller. And you will find that that's true. And you'll find that's true with some dialog boxes in Word. They have a minimum size. That's okay. If I capture this image now, it's going to be about 8 inches wide. That's a lot closer to 6.5. That will make for a lot smaller file. So let me go ahead and use Jing. I'm going to use Jing and I'm going to capture this image like this. And I'm going to just copy it. And then I can come into Word and I can paste it. Now, really quickly, why I have my non-printing characters are turned on so I can see where my paragraphs are. Here I have a blank paragraph, which would be a great place to put an image. But it's indented. Why is that? Well, it's indented because it is the note style. So let's make this an anchor style or a body style. Either one will do. Put my cursor here, and then I'm going to paste that image. And there's the image. And Word has resized it automatically. Now we know that this image was actually probably closer to 8 inches wide, and Word resized it. But this is how we do it. Make whatever it is you're capturing small enough so that it fits in your Word document. Ideally, it will be the size of your text column. But if you can't get it that small, make the image as small as you otherwise can before you copy and paste it. And it's important to note that you don't stretch your image abnormally. You see how this is abnormally stretched? We stretch our images proportionally. So when I take that image of Toledo, I am stretching it from the corners to resize it. I am not stretching it from the side. So in conclusion, don't take screen captures of your entire desktop. If you need to take a screen capture, resize whatever it is to as small as it will go, preferably to fit within the text column for the document you have, which for our templates is about 6.5 inches. Then take the screen capture of what you have appropriately sized. Put that screen capture in your document. Notice I placed it on its own body, or if you choose, there's an anchor tag just for this purpose. You would not, for example, give an image that had no text a number. It would be inappropriate to have that image as a numbered step 1. Follow up in the forums with questions.